Hi guys, so this is video number 2, my attempt to summarize a very insightful day about ultra-processed food that has been taking place today at the Imperial College London. 8 hours policy forum that saw leading academics but also representatives of civil society coming together discussing the evidence about ultra-processed food and chronic diseases, and also policies, ideas and examples that can be put into practice in order to regulate this very unregulated world of ultra-processed food. The afternoon session started with a talk from Dr. Mathilde Touvier of the NutriNet Santé program. Is a research program that's taking place in France and has developed a front of the label tool that can help consumers understanding a bit more the level of processing of the food that they are about to buy. And this tool is called the Nutri-Score system, and it's something that I talk about in my book, Ultra Processed Free Family Cookbook, where I give as many tools as possible to people to navigate food labels and packaged food. The Nutri-Score system, quite simply, is a coded system going from green to red, with green being minimally processed and red being ultra processed. Each single product will have a score in that particular color code, and the idea behind it is that the more a food is being ultra processed, the least nutrients we're gonna derive by eating that food. And this tool has been quite successful with better involvement of people that are not interested or not able to decode food labels, as many of us, to make better and more informed choices during the shopping, and also a better involvement of children in understanding labels and front of packaging coding of products. This is a policy tool that is not mandatory yet in France, but hopefully will be a reality soon, with 45,000 people that have signed a petition to have this scoring system as mandatory. So hopefully that is something that is going to happen soon. Another interesting talk was given by another doctor, Magdalena Mick. Her research project focuses more on the marketization of ultra-processed food on media, particularly on social media. And their research was highlighting more how much every average person will be exposed to an advertisement or ultra-processed food. And the rate is quite scandalous, with an average person will be exposed every 3 minutes to an ultra-processed food advertisement, compared to every 30 minutes of an healthy food advertisement. And this is everybody that uses social media, so that can include also young adults, adolescents and children. Also, their research project highlighted how much influencers that gain money from selling and advertising ultra-processed food can have an impact on the amount of ultra-processed food that our younger people can expose to ultra-processed food by having large pool of followers. And also another interesting aspect of their research was highlighting how much the nutrients profile of a product, which means the level of, let's say, healthy macronutrients, for instance, fiber or protein. If that is high enough in that particular product, that product can, let's say, override regulations. It can be advertised as nutrient and healthy, something very interesting for policymakers to think of. Another very interesting talk was given by a civil society representative, Vicky Simpson, from the First Steps Nutrition Trust. This is a charity that focuses more on babies and toddlers food, and how much the advertisement of this food that is aiming at babies and children, or better at early parents, can be misleading. For instance, a trust calls for better and stricter regulation of food that is misleading, particularly when it comes to formula milk that is an ultra processed food, and how much this advertisement can mislead parents in believing that formula milk could be a substitute for breast milk, while in reality this is absolutely impossible. And also how much follow-on milk, for instance, can be misleading and is a product that is unnecessarily marketized to parents. Air Trust calls for many policies, ideas when it comes to babies and toddlers food, something that I also discussed in my book, like for example when it comes to standards, food standards in those food. We need to make sure that every food that is marketized and designed for children's and baby has certain standards on nutrients that the child can derive from that food. The only problem is that usually bioactive ingredients are the ones that come from real food. So the trust is also highlighting how misleading it is for parents to think that they have to buy food for their own babies and children in specific aisles in supermarkets, while actually children and babies and toddlers should be fed just the real food like everybody else. So all in all, it was a very interesting session. A very important remark was given by Professor Franco Rossi about the, state of art of public health in England. Professor Rossi was highlighting how much England is not lagging behind in public health policies, but how many loopholes there are in the legislations and regulations that allow those companies to still, let's say, override the regulations and still putting on the supermarket shelf food that are as non-nutritional as real food. And finally, our final remark was made about the new drug, the GPL1, that is a drug that is designed for obese people and people with diabetes. This drug can be very useful in certain cases, but what we should not forget is that the people that often find themselves obese and diabetic often are the very same people that are addicted to ultra-processed food. So if we really want to solve the root cause of this particular problem, we cannot potentially solve the problem by giving people pills that also have many contraindications and are very risky. But we should go to the root cause and make sure that companies do not put on the market food that can be addictive. So this is it, my summary of the afternoon session. There were also some politicians talking about the topic, but I'm not going to report on their opinions because I personally don't want to represent any politicians. I don't particularly think that they are the most knowledgeable people in the room, and I also think they adapt their opinion based on the audience, so I'm not going to report on politicians. But I hope you find this summary useful, and if you still don't know how to navigate food labels and you want to start decoding food labels, I strongly recommend you to grab a copy of my book, Ultra Processed Free Family Cookbook, where I give millions, tons, numerous amount of tips and tools on how to understand E-numbers, emulsifiers, stabilizers, colorants, preservatives, and how to put our families in a safer place while we're waiting for academics to find the right tools and for policymakers to implement it. And this is it for me. Bye for now.